We're back in session in cause number 329990. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Philip Terry Grant. Mr. Grant, is that your full name?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Grant, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Grant, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Grant, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Grant?
Okay.
You doing okay? That's good.
Yes,
Mr. Grant, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document alleges that on or about January 30th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Grant, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Grant, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest? Well, Mr. Grant, I'm looking at a document that have your initials PTG on a line that is next to a box that's checked guilty. So are you?
Yes, guilty. I thought it was the same thing.
Okay, so you entering a plea of guilty, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you entering a plea of guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Grant, I have before me another document. This document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, PTG, on the line next to the box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, on the next page of the same document, page 3, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Grant, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there is a signature at the bottom of this document above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of the same document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the
Yes,
best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection? No objection?
No objection.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. West, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Grant, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Grant, your attorney, Mr. West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 30 days county jail. Mr. Grant has credit for 30 days time served, so court costs to be taxed and retired.
Mr. Grant, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail, any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case, because the time that you spent in jail has already satisfied the 30 days sentence. So therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $442, but you would not have to pay the $442 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Grant, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grant, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Grant, this will conclude this case. Please knock on the door, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. West, I think this will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you.